Okay, I don't know how loud or quiet this game's gonna be, and I don't know if the music is copyrighted. I've made videos in this game before. I don't remember if I had music or not, because I played it on Xbox last, I think. Um, but I'm gonna go over, first of all, my garage. I'm not gonna go over every car. I'm not gonna even talk about any of the cars, really. I'm gonna literally just do this while I talk to demonstrate that I have accepted, modified, and collected a lot of the cars in this game. Um, with Forza Horizon 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and let's just say Motorsport 7. That's the only Motorsport I really played. I mean, I played some 2 to 5, and then kind of like skipped 6, and then played a lot of 7, so, and I haven't played the new one yet. But between all of those games, I can guarantee you I've driven every car that isn't super ungodly rare in Forza Horizon 5. I have experience with every car that's in this list. I won't be able to tell you what I remember for some of them, even ones that I played in Horizon 5. I can hardly tell you how good or not the... I don't know, let's see something that comes up. I can hardly tell you how good or not the Ram Power Wagon is anymore. But I drove it. I remember vividly driving it. I just can't tell you what about it. That maybe when Horizon 6 comes out, I'm going to make a series where I literally just modify every car for a certain discipline. I don't think I have the energy to do like every car for every discipline, but maybe. Depends on how fast we can do it and how much effort I put into it. But for today, we're going to go through the system that I've been using, starting with the car that I have right now. So what I've been doing lately is I'll go to recently added, which is actually added to your garage, and I'll check what's new, and I'll see if I've driven it yet. I've not driven the Porsche Mission R, for example. I believe there's a Mach 1 in previous games, but for some reason that's calling to me. Probably just because it's a Mustang. I know for a fact that the Griffith and the Valkyrie was in Horizon 4. Unless it was, yeah, the Valkyrie's in Horizon 4. That's a 23. Was it this game? I swear I drove that. The next thing I was going to do was this Porsche Motorsport car. And then the Toyota MR2 I've driven before, but I want to do it again because people use those at the autocross events that I do, so I want to make it look like one of the autocross cars that I see. But we're going to skip it for this video, maybe, so that I can show my path that I take through the cars, and then I'll go back and I'll make all the autocross cars that I see just for fun. I don't think I've driven this specific vehicle, but I've driven the AMG GT. There we go, the E-Ray. I don't think I've driven that one since getting it. So that's 3 cars, right? 2 Porsches and an E-Ray. And the new Raptor. Let's make it those 3. And then, just because I feel like we're at the end-ish, I'm gonna just keep looking real quick. Yeah, this is the literal end. So, the Camaro Jordan, and the Raptor, the 2 Porsches, and the E-Ray. The one thing I wanted to check was the E-Ray. Make sure I haven't driven one yet. I mean, that says 24, so it literally would have came out in the last year, and I've hardly played this game, so definitely no E-Rays. Okay, so I have 5 cars. Kinda sucks. So maybe we'll do like a bonus one. We'll see. But we'll start with the Mission R, which I believe is an electric car. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to contemplate whether or not I want to take a car and use it for a discipline it's not looked like it's made for. An example would be I look at this and I'm like, man, could I make this an off-road car? But not this time. So let's make it stupid fast and see what we can make it do. And we'll call this a day, basically. 18s are fine. Oops. We'll keep the stock rims. They look neat. We'll make the biggest rear tires. And then we'll just take the fronts a step up. It should be on slicks as it is. Yeah. So I'll take those. Because we're trying to make a really good road car anyway. I don't know if I can tune the diff stock, but we'll know in a minute. Alright, we'll keep that in mind. Let's see, do we have any race suspension? Nope, it's already installed. And then weight reduction is going to put me over, okay? Because that's my goal, is I want to see if I can get... Well, I think 998 is the limit. So, maybe we do change the rims. Or we could probably just widen them. Nope. Yep, so we're going to have to change the rims. And presumably reduce some weight. All the rims add weight. The rims on it are the lightest. Okay, let's put on some swanky ass fucking ADV ones. Well, we need something that drops the PI a bit, actually. Okay. Then we're gonna do this. There. No. Wait, does that mean that 998 is S2? I mean, X class? No, there it is. You're a donger for that game. Okay. So there. This is top of S2 class. That is it. Cut and dry, cheap. Won't even need much tuning. Let's average out this tire pressure. Not normally the best thing to do for tuning, but I always seem to do it just because I have autism, so bring that as far forward in the gearing as possible. We'll trust what they've done for their suspension. We're gonna slam this to the ground and improve all of the cornering arrow. We need all the downforce we can get because I don't need to go 240. I need to go 200 as fast as possible. That's my preferred brake bias. Okay, and then we readjust the gearing. There, to the next rounded 5. And we are on our way already. The first thing that I like to do with every car, regardless of discipline, is I go right here. And we give it a launch. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so like I said, I think there's definitely faster cars than this for this class, but this is a very agile car, very planted car. What I do is I just pretty much follow this road, taking whatever curves and whatnot that it offers me, normally without plucking at my eye. And we'll call that a mulligan just because I was playing with my eye. It's very oversteery because of all the downforce. Woo. But this would be a car that you could do like 100 laps of Goliath with or whatever. Ugh. I also call the cars a mulligan, and that's not me giving it 100 excuses. But you can't predict the cars, so like if I take a turn like this and I just grossly overestimate it and I go off, and all 4 wheels are off, then that's out. like that. Get our little bit of skill score, I suppose. Alright. And then I'm going to claim some stuff from the My Horizon tab. Totally unrelated. But this is my normal around the business. I also heard that a bunch of mastery points got refunded. No? Weird. Okay, so now we've tested that it's a track vehicle. I also take every track car down the drift mountain, and the goal is to not drift or die. The goal is to be as grippy as possible without, you know, trying to drift or spin out or whatnot. I do allow drifting, but the less drifting is the preferred amount of drifting when I'm testing a road or street or race car. Like, doing stuff like that, not the intended outcome. I'm actually even going to restart this just to get a fair shot at the speed zone. And I'm going to chalk it up to being a little distracted, you know, making the video and stuff. But let's try this again. Oh, it starts all the way back there. I did it again. Okay. Yay, new PB. I know I could do it. It's part of why I wanted to redo it. It's just got so much turn in. I'm not used to it at all. Golly. I think it's the front downforce. I think I should tune it down some. I also don't normally go in this in depth with downforce, but or just in general, I don't tend to go this in depth with tuning, but something was setting off the balance on this car, and I think I found out what it was. That's so much better. Oh, okay. Okay, we're drifting a little bit. It's okay. And then when I leave the mountain, I take off this way and try to full throttle it all the way to the festival where I go to switch cars. Not bad. The next car was that next Porsche, which we now have to make something other than a race car because we just did a Porsche race car. So we have a drift car, off-road car, rally car type deal, or drag car. .8 liter, I don't know, probably straight six. Guess we'll keep that compared to any of the other junk. It's currently rear wheel drive. We could probably drift this pretty good. I don't want to make this a rally car, I don't think. Let's see what it has for tires. Yeah, just rally tires. It could be fun. I kind of want to drift it. That's what I'm gonna do. Ooh, never mind. This is a rally car. That's what I was saying to begin with. Was that it was a rally car? So let's just crest 305. Yeah, 300. And then because it's a drift car, we got to get some rotiforms or some 1552s. No, they're not in here. They're in the other one. I hate how slow this menu is on all the platforms. Just because I'm falling asleep here, we'll just do the 1552. '18s are fine. It's tires already. Since we're gonna make it a rally car, I'm gonna make it all-wheel drive to help with traction. Because the rear-wheel drive and 700 fucking horsepower is not gonna be helpful. We'll let it keep the 6-speed in there. Off-road, race, drift. Yep, so we'll do off-road. I like having my tuning options available, so we already have, so I now have brake tuning. Yeah, it's probably light enough. We'll just throw on some horses. Perfect. There we go. Alright, and then I also like to color the cars. I didn't do it with the last one because I like the, like, normal stock design. But since we're making a rally car, let's get some, like, Subaru Racing Team blue type going on. It just, not that rich. So it is that bright. I'll just do it. Then what's the other group? So you guys can be made yellow. And then just for the fun of it, seems like that's already yellow, but sure. Seems like that's already yellow, but sure. And then we'll make you gold, but like the brass. The not so really gold. Good enough. And then you can't see it, but we'll make them red brakes behind there so that they have pretend Brembos, and then I always tint the windows black. So now we got a blue and yellow thing to match like a Subaru Rally Team type color, just because we're talking about a boxer engine anyway, but obviously very different. But that's the irony to it, in case you needed it explained to you. Now we have to go ahead and check our tune, do the drag strip run where we just see how the general grip is going to feel like. And then what I do for this is I actually do a race. Oh wow, yeah, those gears need some attention. And then as usual, I like to max out my downforce. That extra turn in bite might actually help with the off-road portion. Okay. That's a good set of gearing. Let's just play with the final drive. I don't think we'll really be getting that far up, but let's just take 5 out of everything until we're where we need to be. Yeah, good enough. All right. Traction control is not on. Electric stability control is not on. I hate that the rest of those are always dummy lights. One day they'll be on and that'll be cool. Oh. I'm gonna rewind, because I want to carry speed through there. Power band on this is definitely like the 6 to 8 grand range, which is why you would probably add cams normally, because right now it's not really benefiting, other than the fact that I can milk the red line. For the record, just because I don't think I've ever mentioned this, I play with ABS off, traction control off, stability control off, and I play manual with clutch. So my left bumper, I have to hold the left bumper down, or I have a elite controller with paddles on the bottom. I have to press those corresponding paddles to put the clutch in. I think this is A. Yeah, that's paired to A. Oh, that was B. And that's the horns. Okay, yep, left stick, right stick. So it's a different setup. But normally I would have one of those as like a clutch button too. But, yeah, so that means, as you kind of notice there, if I don't put the clutch button in when I change gears, they won't shift as fast. So, like, let's say right here through this turn. Oops. I'm going to call that my blunder because I was trying to demonstrate something. Or without my clutch trying to shift gears here. So we gotta use the clutch when we shift. This honestly, I mean, that mulligan aside, this is the farthest I've made it in a car. In general. But I'm also handling it pretty well. I quite literally haven't gotten this far to the point where I don't really know, like, where my route's gonna take me. Other than having driven Goliath and knowing the general layout of the map, I haven't been out this way in so long. This car is very impressive right now. Oh, that's four wheels off course. I'm willing to let it slide though. If I let the other Porsche slide with that, I can't be so intolerant. Despite kind of just wanting this to be over at this point. That was fairly impressive too. I mean, I guess my other winning criteria for a car would be if I can flawlessly complete a lap of the Goliath without trying flawlessly. Which we're almost doing. Goliath would have players over there, so I definitely didn't take the right turn there, but we're still cooking. Okay, there. I was trying to see, I was taking all those flat out, I was trying to see when something would happen. Okay, so normally that doesn't take so long. I gotta remember where I'm going. After I do that, I do this race. I just accept it with the default setup and then select my current car, the one that I want to use, and race the trail as it is. I have a created course here, a bunch of people have created courses here, but the main thing is I want to go down the mountain on the dirt road, and this way earns me some credits, some points, it puts up some barriers, forces me to navigate a couple of the turns here differently, because you can cheat and corner cut when you're in online. So we'll go ahead and do this race, and we'll see if we come out on top. I have a good feeling that we will, seeing as what I just saw, so let's see what we get ourselves into. So we will have drag and drift between an E-Ray and a Raptor. We'll see what we can do with that. If we don't feel comfortable with either, we'll use that Camaro that we're talking about. Due to the grip, it takes a little bit of effort to kind of get it to move around, but it's doing just fine, as we can tell. It was a very impressive first turn there. If I was trying to make this a rally car, it would definitely benefit from having, you know, the gears tuned down enough, because 5th gear isn't really where it needs to be. The end of 5th gear, we don't need 6th and in top speed in general, so we can bring a whole gear back into the mix. Oh dear. Oh, we're good. Oh, actually. That was 100% a blunder, but we made it in front of them, so we got ahead of them. Oh, my skill tree. one of my reasons for taking a car that you wouldn't normally see or expect in a discipline that they shouldn't be in or don't look like they should be in is because I like to call it seeing if the discipline is still there. Like Porsche, they have very good rally heritage. They've made good rally cars. They've won championships and whatnot, recognized internationally for their off-road cars and whatnot. But this is not the car you would think of when it comes to that. So, definitely something impressive. But that was great. So there. That was more than impressive. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the next vehicle. This video is going to probably be a fucking hour long. Let's see what the E-Ray has to offer for power options, because if it has enough power, the drag will do that, otherwise we'll drift with it. Oh, well, you gotta go with the... Gotta get the wide body kit on there. Regardless of what we do, the turbo's gonna be better. It's all-wheel drive to begin with, so we'll keep that. Already 800 horsepower. Got the fastest powertrain in it, basically. Especially after I put the turbos on there. I'm happy with that then. We will keep the stock engine in there. Sounds awesome. We'll put the wing from the body kit on it. And then we said we're going to drag it, so... Most tire per tire. And we're going to put some Kragars on there. Like a real racer would. Front rim to 21. I assume the rears are 21. Okay, so as a stock 9-speed, 8-speed transmission, we will work with that since we're keeping the stock powertrain in it. Make it more fun. Do they have one just set up for drag already? No. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the race diff, I guess. Normally I would use the off-road diff because it's locked, but we'll max out the weight reduction. We'll put a cage in there even though we won't need it. And what I like to do for drag cars is I'll actually get rally springs, rally suspension, and then just slam it to the ground. And that helps get the squat that you need for launches and stuff normally pretty decently. And then, given the nature of it, I'm going to keep slamming power into it because the drag car. So what's that? That makes it a 7-liter. That's fun. depending on what the end PI is, we'll see if we can do something to adjust it back down to stock without affecting it, but I doubt it. Maybe we'll just put on like slicks or something. Continue working. 950 on rallies. That's funny. Oh, 948 on drifts. Okay. Well, I might just put the rally tires on there just to make it a 950 even. Alright. And then, for the sake of convenience, I'm probably just going to murder it out. Not going to do anything fancy with the colors. It's okay to murder a car every now and again. Did I already do this? Nope. There's that. Now that we've got that set up, we can drop the tune. Since it's a drag car, we're just going to tank the PSI. And then we got to tune these gears. And then let's leave it at that for now, but we'll be back. I want no camber and no caster. I want my wheels flat on the ground all the time. And then this is the one where we'll slam it. And then I want my arrow all the way towards speed. Brakes are going to go back to my usual. Although where we're going, we won't need them. And then we want high on both. And because we don't have the grippiest tires, I'm gonna move the diff balance a little bit more towards the middle because I just need all the power going to all the tires. And then because I like to, I'm gonna round everything up to the nearest 5. Okay. And with our increase thing, we can drag that back to the nearest 5. And then do it again. Alright. And then signs and paints. Paint car. And then, like I said, we're going to murder it, which, in case you didn't know what that meant, means we're just going to paint it a nice matte black. If I wasn't stupid. And then we'll actually kind of match it a little bit. We're going to put some carbon fiber parts, some common parts that would be commonly carbon fiber. So, like carbon fiber wing mirrors, carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber spoiler. We'll keep the rims the way they are though, and then we'll make the brakes red like they're Brembos, and then we'll put the dark tint on, and we're done. And just like that, you've created an acceptably average looking car. You can murder out any car and it'll look acceptably average. So there, we got somewhere around 1300 horsepower, 8 gears, we're in a Corvette, nice and aerodynamic. We got all-wheel drive and anti-lag. Here we go. .230 before coming into the turn. Even though our tire pressure is tanked, we have some really impressive handling. And then because we just did a drag basically, I'm not going to do a drag race. And then I just do this to see how it feels and get a feel for the car. But once this is done, we're done with this. Then we can go drift the car. I don't have too many cars that get airtime over that. Yeah, for being tuned totally towards speed, the aerodynamic on this is not bad. Also, as usual, one mulligan. Sounds awesome. Looks awesome. I'm gonna call that a mulligan too, just on the car being the way that it was. Once you're done being a drag racer, the anti-lag's pretty fucking annoying. Alright, that's plain and simple off in the grass. And then, just out of curiosity, 30 and 50 and 73 and 103. So, be something like this. A little bit faster. Yeah, there you go. We didn't do too bad with our takeoff before. Alright. Back one more time, and we're gonna do the drift car. Recently added, and then we're gonna go to that Raptor, and we're gonna see if we can make a drift truck out of a lifted ass Raptor that, you know, it's gonna go great. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna win any parts, but I'm sure we can get it to go. I don't know if it's a 5.1 or 5.2 liter, or if it's supposed to just be a bored out 5.0. Probably that answer though. We can shove a lot of horsepower into this. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's put it all to the rear wheels like a maniac. Go with that one. I like that one. That one's pretty cool, but we've been going with the second option this whole time, so we'll do that. I can make the tires even bigger. Okay, first of all, let's make the rims as big as possible to help contrast from that sidewall. And then we'll see about making that any bigger, but I don't think so because it kind of contributes to the lift of the vehicle. And we already got, you know, the over 300 there, so I don't need to worry about that. It does come with drift tires. Well, it has drift tires available. And then, in classic fashion, we gotta add some rotiforms or 1552s. This will melt your brain off, dude. Alright, well, we found 1552s first. 4-speed. Yep. Oh, come on. I believe it probably would have like a 10-speed stock, but the 4-speed's gonna help us stay in our power band a little bit better. It does have the drift diff available, which is always nice. Gonna make sure that we have all of our tuning options available, which means sway bars and suspension. I'm gonna do the same thing when I have to hand make my drift suspension as I do when I do drag suspension, which is rally suspension, and then I just slam it. Alright, there's gotta be a way to throw 5 PI out of the bus here. Need a way to get 2 PI out. 335. Yeah, we'll just keep it that way then. So there, top of 8 class with 1700 horsepower. We'll see how awesome that does, especially without real drift suspension, meaning that we'll keep the tire pressures high. Without real drift suspension means that we are going to have a delightful time. We're going to give it maximum negative camber in the front. A little bit in the rear. Probably too much. And then a little bit of toe out in the front. Keep the caster where it is. And like I said, we'll just slam it. We'll keep all the suspension softer. And then we'll lock the diff. Come back to the gearing after that. Okay. And I also like to make sure that this looks more like a steady line. There. Then this one. We have a different paint option. You go with red to wrap it up, since red is my color. And then we'll make the rims white. Yeah, just like Gymkhana. And then we're going to make the calipers yellow like their Willwoods. And then we're going to tint the windows. Alright. Now we're going to do our normal drag race into test drive. And then we take it down the drift mountain as a drift test. Oh my god, this is going to be massively inconvenient. Okay, we did not survive the initial portion of the test drive, which does not bode well. But the fact that we're spinning tires in 4th gear does bode well for the drift test. That is way too far down, but you guys won't care. No one's even watched this far into the video. Too much angle already. I'm trying so hard to get this to cooperate with me in the slightest, and it's just not working. Dude. Alright, because I'm committed to the rear wheel drive aspect, I'm gonna put the original motor back in it and try to build it. And we'll see what we can do. But I think it literally just, where that turbo kicks in is kind of inconvenient, and it tries to add a lot of speed because of the horsepower and blah blah blah. And if that doesn't work, we'll go back to the high horsepower engine and make it all-wheel drive. What this does mean too is we can increase some grip with these guys. Those won't change. We can put the brakes back on. Always a good idea to help with your oil and cooling. Then we got the intake and exhaust to alter the sound. Then we'll get some valves for whatever horsepower we can add while this is still an A class. Okay. Alright, let's try this. It has 800 less horsepower, which might sound like a lot, but that's still 900 horsepower. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to redo the tune and everything. So let's get over here. Alright, everything else is good. Maybe we won't even die immediately. Which would suck for the runtime of this video, but be alright for me. No. Alright, so next thing is, let's try to get down this mountain without being an absolute gut-wrenching, total, unbelievably disappointing disappointment. If it had drift suspension, it would have just enough to do the counter steer that it needs. Okay, I'm not unimpressed. Pull me back on the road. Sometimes that's really all it takes. Maybe the rain's helping a little bit too. This is taking an absurd amount of focus. I don't feel like it was necessary for the skill chain to end, as I was still doing drifts and stuff. No. I'm still proud of you. That was close to setting like a record. Alright, let's drive home and call it a day. Look at that, an actually tolerable driving experience too, if you wanted. I mean, not by any means, you know, gonna pass that road test like we saw. We just die anyway, but we made it work. And that's what I wanted to do. And then if I wanted to, I could still do this. It can't be that. Alright, well, so the next time I hop on here, which will not be my third video tonight because it's time to wrap up the night. But I do plan on coming back here to kind of recreate cars that I've seen in real life, in like my SCCA tournaments and so forth, I guess would be the right thing to say. In cars in my life. I'm going to skip my grandfather's Ford F-150 as it was already in the game and I made a video about it, and then I'm going to skip my Mustang that I beat up. But we'll see about everything else. I'll work you through like the thought processes and the things I'm doing for that. It'll probably be another hour or whatever on that, but that's fine. Anyway, if you made it this far, I'm sorry for your loss. Let me know if you did. And peace out.